Hey, friends and family, thanks for joining us today. We have two stories, and they both about the same thing, you guys. First of all, we've got a story coming out of Texas, and we've got a story that's going to come out of Nebraska. First, we're going to talk about the story in Texas. There was a young lady. Her name was Tamika. I'm guessing. I'm hoping I'm saying the name right. Tamika. Um, Her and her family. She has five kids, and she is married. So, and her husband had went down to their apartment community pool, which is just for the neighborhood of whoever rents in that complex. They have the rights to go down to the pool, and this was their first time. And our kids was very happy to go down there. They were very excited, and so not not long after that, a lifeguard came and asked her, let her know that she had too many gas. And she pointed out to the lifeguard that some of the people that was in the pool, which was of her color, she was African American, you guys, or she still is. But she kind of let them know that they were not with her. And then he just left her alone. Okay. 15 minutes go by. A police officer comes up and tells her that she needs to leave, and she don't know why she needs to leave. Well, he threatens her that he was going to give her some jail time if she didn't leave fast enough. So she did leave the pool, and I guess she was trying to explain to the police officer that she had a right to be down there, and there was no reason for her to leave. She was part of the homeowner association. She lived in that area or that apartment complex, and the police officer were kind of letting her know you were warned once to leave, and the lifeguard has the right to tell you to leave or whatever. Which she allowed him. She let him know that she was never asked to leave by the lifeguard. Well, you guys. So they get to the point of, I guess the news reporters kind of got in contact with the homeowner association and asked them what's going on in the lifeguard. And then there's a little twist to the story, which was, first of all, one of her kids, it was a toddler, had to be saved by the lifeguard, you guys. They were struggling in the water, and so I guess they had to jump in there and get one of the kids. And then there was another kid that they said, no, the mother came back and said, no, that was not true. The mother said that one of her kids was struggling with, you know, the death of something or whatever, and she was holding to the side and nobody would help her. But they have cameras there, you guys, so they're gonna get to the bottom of it. But the mother she said she was just so disappointed in how she was treated, and there was some Caucasian guy there that tried to stood up for her. So she wasn't saying that, she's saying that there was somewhat of some racism going on, but she says not everybody's like that. I mean, the guy that was there, the one guy, he was there trying to stand up for her, and so she kind of was like, not everybody's like that. Okay, so I was just thinking, I mean, if and this is just my opinion on that little story there. She has five kids, and they were saying that the kids were being unruly. The parents was not, watching the kids, and maybe it put a lot of stress on them or something. I don't know. I don't know how many other people were in the pool, but just thinking about what the lifeguard was saying, if you've got five kids that don't know how to swim, and you guys down there just relaxing, sitting back, and then they're pulling them out and they're jumping back in and running and pulling them out and they're jumping back in, and then they can't even supervise anybody else. I'm not saying they were in the right. No, no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there was a lot going on that day. And if I had five kids that was underage, under what, 6, 7 years old, five of them, I wouldn't trust two or one lifeguard to watch all my children when I know I can't watch them all, because I mean it is kind of a safety hazard having that many kids that don't know how to swim that all want to get in the water. Or you keep them on the on the small end, be good. Sometimes you can't do that. Anyway, we're gonna talk about this story out of Nebraska, and hopefully I can remember. It was a teacher that had moved down there, and in the summertime, this teacher, he drives for Uber and he drives for Lyft. Well, he had a call to go to this cul-de-sac area and to pick up, and then he had another pickup to go. He went to the cul-de-sac, or I don't know if they call them cul-de-sac roundabout or whatever they call them down there. It looked like a cul-de-sac to me. To pick up his gas, and he waited there for a while. And as he waited there, a car pulled up behind him. No one did say anything. Then, it was a truck. Then a car pulled up beside him, and they didn't say anything. And then a guy walked out and asked him what was he doing there, because he doesn't look like. He just said, "What are you doing here?" And he said that he was a share ride or whatever. He's a Lyft driver, and he was waiting to pick up. The guy's name was Mike or something. And so the guy turns around and tell the Lyft driver, he tells him, "You don't look like you belong over here." So he started kicking and hitting the car. So not only he started kicking and hitting the car, so the guy is trying to move the car out of that area because he's got a really nice looking car. And then jumps out some other people, and so they all start beating on the car and hitting the car. And the Lyft driver said they were even trying to get in the car, and he was scared. Now, just remember that this guy that's driving the Uber car is actually a teacher also down there I say up there in Nebraska. And so he gets away, he gets out of that cul-de-sac, and he goes down and he calls the police. Well, he calls the police, he tells the police his story. He's got all these dings and bents and dings and stuff all over his car, and his car's a nice looking car. And so the police officer goes back to that area, and they're like, "No, that ain't what happened." I don't know what story they told him. I just know they said it didn't happen. So the police officer says, "Okay, well, there's nothing we can do." This man's got these dings and dents and all this stuff on his car. And he says, so the officer says, "We can't take one person's word for it." Now, I know them being in a cul-de-sac area, surely they got cameras. Trust and believe. That's the rural area outside of the city where you want to be away from people because you're more scared and more likely to have a community that does the same things that you do. And, you don't want to be, you don't want to be in that inner city, all congested with problems and all of the things that goes on. So normally in a cul-de-sac area, just normally, I'm not saying all, they normally have cameras. Anyway, you guys, they're saying that they're going to have to do some more investigation. They came back and they did talk to some of the people that was helping hit the car and bing the car. And they said that these was like 16 and 17-year-old kids. Well, that teacher said that, he was kind of a little scared there, scared for his life. He did not know what was going on. So you guys, I just tell you, I don't know what's going on in this world, but you're going to have to be safe. And you see something that's not appropriate or somebody acting weird, especially when they're calling you these racial names, get out of there. Don't stay around trying to make a report or anything. Get out of there and get yourself safe. All right, you guys, be good, be safe, and be nice to each other.